welcome to Reed's Read, Spider-Man Crawl Space Edition. I'm Ryan Reed, creator and webmaster of Comics Havoc. Please check us out. Brand new address, like our Facebook page, and everything else in between. Come talk about Havoc and all related characters. Well, let's get on to this review. So it's time correctly for Superior Spider-Man number 6, which is Humberto Ramos's return as artist to Spider-Man and everything. So let's get right on to the positive. The fact is, I kind of like the fact that this dealt hugely with the current storylines dealing with, punk supervillains who, just create trouble with the Jester and Screwball. Screwball being another one of Dan Slott's creations, and the Jester, who's actually a fan favorite of both Bob Gale and Dan Slott. This is a new one, of course, doing the punk. And actually, it is kind of funny. I mean, it really is. The jokes are actually handled with these two supervillains that just, are out to just, punk people, create damage, all just for, hits on a website and everything else, and just to have a good laugh. And, even Otto, finds it really funny too. But of course, after everything gets in with Jameson, he says, okay, I'm going to take them down. Of course, when he finally does, and he gets his, lenses broke, and it basically reminds him when he was a little kid and bullies would pick on him and break his own lenses and how he would make him pay. That's when he loses it. And just like always, he ends up beating these villains within an inch of their life, and it's both a good and a bad thing, because, I mean, there are people out there who just do these things for cheap laughs, hits on YouTube and whatnot, and then when something goes wrong, they get injured, they get hit, or they film the wrong person. They kind of learn it the hard way. And the truth is, I've never been a fan of Screwball. I mean, Jester I've always liked, especially when he was a Daredevil villain. But Screwball, even in the last Spider-Girl series by Paul Ryan, she got beaten quite a bit by Arena there, and she's still doing everything. It's kind of like, how many times do you need to get hurt like this just for ratings before you stop? And it wasn't a bad thing that she got injured. I just go from there. But that's really my positives. Cons, first of all, Humberto Ramos's artwork is lacking. This is not his strongest issue. It's not Spider Island caliber, even when he was doing some pieces and ends of the earth. It's definitely missing that artwork-wise, and there are a lot of confusing panels, especially when the lenses get damaged and all that. And another thing is, the Avengers kind of sit there kind of like idiots, like, oh, we should bring him out, oh, we had, and then Wolverine, of all people, says, oh, no, we've all got blood on our hands, let's hold on to it. And then, of course, after he beats the Jester and Screwball senseless, that's when he, they say, okay, we got to bring him in. And Mary Jane says, this is not Peter. And the police are like, what's going on here? And Jameson's like, yeah. It's like, it took you until now to realize something is way, way, way off. And especially if you look at what just happened in Avenging Spider-Man, where, Yost kind of explained why he's able to get around with that kind of stuff, where he's got the X-Men full, and so there are people that kind of think about, oh no, I'm Peter Parker. What makes you think I'm not Spider-Man? Yeah, it's kind of a little here and everything else. Even though I do love the thing, Anne-Marie McConey is still a cool supporting cast member. I'm really glad she's back, and she's going to be kind of develop a little bit more, as well as Otto's old professor, which is another good positive. But unfortunately, with all that set aside and everything else, and this is kind of a filler issue, especially since it really doesn't do any real aftermath of Massacre. I mean, he killed the villain with a gun. We didn't see it. It's never really referred to it, but now they're like, well, maybe we should bring him in because now he's beating two jokester villains senseless. You killed somebody in front of everybody with a gun who couldn't defend himself. That didn't raise ideas there. So with that said, I'm going to give this a 2.1 out of 5 webs for Spider-Man. So it wasn't a bad issue, and it was enjoyable to a sense, but I'm ready to move on to this next story, like dealing with the Avengers and Peter kind of crawling up to try to get back over his body. So that's what I'm going to leave there. So in the meantime, I will see everybody later. I will not be reviewing the Superior Spider-Man Age of Ultron plug-in, but I will definitely be doing the next issue here that kicks off the Fired storyline. So until then, I'm out.